In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get started with marketing on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn has something that most other social media platforms don't have, and that is an audience that comes to the platform in the mindset to do business. People come to LinkedIn to find out content about their industry, to find a new job. It's all around that professional space. Unlike when they go to Facebook or Instagram, where they're probably concerned about updates from their friends and family, their latest influencers, some memes, or potentially even some clickbait from Sports Bible. And that is why LinkedIn is the perfect platform for B2B marketers. So enough about why LinkedIn is so great for B2B. Let's just dive in and I'll talk you through it. So before you get started on LinkedIn, the first thing you need to do is decide what you want to get out of your LinkedIn marketing activity. You need to define your audience and define your goals. Once you know what you want to achieve, it is going to be so much easier to decide who you want to target. For example, if you're a company that sells accounting services, you probably want to raise awareness of your business. That's quite an obvious one. But who do you want to raise awareness amongst? It's probably going to be small business owners, people with the job title of director, perhaps. So that all of a sudden, just by thinking like that, you go into LinkedIn knowing that you want to raise awareness of your business amongst this specific group of people. Ultimately, the more defined your goal and your audience, the more success you will have with LinkedIn. And this kind of goes with every other piece of marketing activity. It can be really easy to get distracted, try the latest thing, but actually that thing may not be at all relevant to your goal and the audience you're trying to reach. So always keep that goal and that audience in the forefront of your mind. Okay, so now that we've got our audience defined and we know what we want to achieve from our LinkedIn activity, the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a company page. Just like on other social media platforms, your LinkedIn page is your company's profile on the platform. It's that place where people can come to learn more about your brand and the people that work there. So now that we've got a page created, we can start inviting people to like the page. Now, before you actually invite people to like the page, what I like to do is start creating some content and publish some content on that page. Effectively, if you start inviting people to like the page and it's just a blank LinkedIn profile, who's going to want to join and who's going to want to like that? It's like inviting people to a party, they turn up, nobody's there, there's no drinks, there's no music, there's no DJ, there's nothing. People aren't going to be engaged with that. If you invite them to like your page and there's already loads of cool content on there, maybe other people have been interacting with that content already, they're going to be far more likely to want to stick around and see what else there is to be offered. Now, when you're creating content, you're going to be learning your craft. It's going to be very rare, unless you are a world-class marketer, that you're going to instantly start spitting out amazing content that's going to get tons of engagement. So just test different types of content and really figure out what means the most to your audience. For example, a short, snappy infographic might be amazing for Twitter or Instagram, but on LinkedIn, probably a different version of that that's a bit more in-depth, like a white paper, could do far better. So just what works well on Instagram doesn't necessarily mean that's going to translate straight to your LinkedIn profile. So keep that in mind as well. Now, once you've invited a few people to like your page, you've got some content on there and people are engaging with that, it's now time to start building an even bigger audience. And one good way of doing this is to use @mentions. And what that will do is that will tag a user or a company in a post that you're publishing. So some quick wins that I've had with @mentions is to tag a influencer in my industry with one of their quotes or a piece of information that they've shared that we found valuable. This content will then appear in the search results when somebody's searching for that key influencer on LinkedIn. And also that influencer themselves will get a tag notification on LinkedIn to let them know that you've posted some content about them. If they like what you had to say, you never know, they might actually share that content to their audience. And if their audience is super relevant to your audience that you're trying to reach, you're going to see that you're going to get people engaging with that content and ultimately following your page as well. And this tactic doesn't just work well on LinkedIn. You'll see it on YouTube all the time. You're going to see people that say, this is how Mr. Beast achieves 1 million views on a video. This is how Mr. Beast has managed to gain so many subscribers. Just by putting Mr. Beast's name in the video title, they're capitalizing on all of the searches around Mr. Beast and getting Mr. Beast fans to watch that video as well. So exactly the same thing works in the accountancy niche if you have a great accountancy influencer that people follow or a really good business strategist that people follow. Tag those people in your posts and people will search for them and also see your business as well. So I understand it can be difficult to think of your first content ideas, so here's just a few things to get you started. So you could share blog posts. You can show that you are a thought leader in your industry by writing really good long-form blog content. For example, if your company sells social media software, start writing blog posts on how you can get the most out of social media marketing. Share the latest tools and tips on social media marketing. Show that you're not just somebody here selling software, you're somebody showing people how they can get the most out of that software, but also the other skills related to social media. People are going to search for that content, want to engage with that. They're going to build trust with you and therefore be more likely not only to just follow your page and engage with your content, but potentially to sign up to your services as well. Now, another thing you can do is share third-party content. Sometimes the best content is already out there and you can just reshare that to your audience. So, for example, going back to the accountancy niche, maybe there is a new piece of tax law that's just come out. You'll find that post online and you can just share that on your LinkedIn profile, again with maybe a few comments from your side as the accountancy specialist, but also most importantly, tagging whoever created that post in the first place. Again, they're going to get that notification and they might share that back to their audience along with the nice comments that you've written commenting on that piece. One thing not to forget as well with LinkedIn is that it's a great place for people to come and find jobs. So you might have some of the latest talent coming to your company page to see if it's somewhere that they want to work. So this is a great opportunity to also just share company news, but also staff updates. Has somebody new joined the team? Make a post and put that on LinkedIn. Tell the world that you have a new marketing manager. Tell the world that somebody got promoted from junior accountant to senior accountant. All these things show that you're a great employer, a good company, and most importantly, you invest in people. Ultimately though, every company is different, every audience is different. So what works well for company A may not work so well for company B. So there's ultimately no magic formula on the type of content you share and how often you post. But when it comes to how frequently you should post, the general rule of thumb is to post 1 to 2 times per day. But like I say, this may be different for your business and your niche. Just keep testing and see what works best for you. And finally, the other thing you want to do is encourage your existing employees to reshare the content that you are posting on your company page. Individuals tend to have 10 times as many connections on LinkedIn as companies. So by getting your own employees to share that content and maybe post their own thoughts on it, you are going to be reaching a far wider audience than you would if you just posted content from your company page. And theoretically, the people that are connected with your employees are also the sort of people that you want to be reaching. Certainly, if you've got a sales team, those are exactly the kinds of guys that you want amplifying your content to their connections that should well be your target audience. So next up, now that we've got a company page, you also need to build out your own personal LinkedIn profile. Now, there's going to be times where you might promote your company through your own personal page rather than the company page. I've already given one of those examples where you might be sharing content from your personal page as a post. But there's other situations as well where you might be messaging potential customers. You might be doing LinkedIn message ads, which are effectively LinkedIn emails that go to customers from you as an individual. So having that complete profile that shows who you are and what makes you so great is really important. Now, I could make an entire video on how you can create and optimize the best possible LinkedIn profile, and that is something I will do. Leave a comment below if you really want to see that video. But in a nutshell, if LinkedIn is offering you space for some content on your profile, make sure you populate that space. So here are a few things that can get you started. Firstly, you need to create a standout headline. Your LinkedIn headline is a short one-liner that appears next to your profile picture almost everywhere on LinkedIn. When you share content, it's there. When you comment on posts, it's there. When people click through to your profile, it's there. Pretty much anywhere you show up on LinkedIn, your headline is going to be right there next to you. That is why it has to be engaging and tell people what you do. I like to think of the headline as an email subject line. Like I've said, it appears nearly everywhere that your profile will appear on LinkedIn. So for people to click through and find out more about you, that headline needs to be engaging. It needs to be like the email subject line that hits your inbox and makes people want to open that email. Same thing for your LinkedIn profile. Essentially, if your headline's boring and doesn't really say much, people aren't going to think, wow, this guy's cool. Let me learn more about them and what they do. So my headline for my LinkedIn profile is e-commerce manager turning marketing campaigns into dollars. I do exactly what it says on the tin. I'm an e-commerce manager and I'm all about creating marketing campaigns that turn marketing into dollars. I don't just do campaigns for the sake of it. There has to be some sort of return on investment, and that is what drives me. It's that ROI. And you get a snippet of that just by reading my headline. You kind of know what I'm about just from those few short words that you see next to my profile picture. Next up, upload a profile picture that sells your personality. You need a profile picture that clearly displays your face, and make sure that you smile as well in that photo. Show people that you're a happy, welcoming, fun person. Now, once people land on your LinkedIn profile, they've seen your picture, they've seen your headline, the next thing they're likely to see is your LinkedIn profile summary. Your summary is your 30-second elevator pitch. Imagine you're in the elevator with the big boss. You've never spoken to them before, and they just say, "Hi, who are you?" You've got 30 seconds to tell them who you are, what you do, and why you're so awesome. That is exactly what you need to get from your LinkedIn summary. Your summary needs to be a true introduction to you. It needs to be concise, so remember 30-second elevator pitch. And ultimately, it has to sell who you are and what you do. So to get you started, I like to answer these 3 questions with my LinkedIn summaries. What do you do? Why does your work matter? And what are your career accomplishments and aspirations? What that does is that ticks a few different boxes. It tells people who you are so they can learn a bit more about you. They can learn about what you're doing and why it's so important. And also, if a recruiter comes to your profile or if you're searching for a job, they're going to see what you've achieved to date and also what you want your next step to be. Now, on top of this, you need to make sure that you are adding in your latest experience, your skills, education, and showcase some key work in the featured section. So is this all you need to do to market on LinkedIn? Absolutely not. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are plenty more things you can do on LinkedIn, and the purpose of this video is just to give you an introduction to those first steps that you take. So once you found your feet, go and watch this video that will show you how you can get started with LinkedIn ads and reach even more people.